Hello everyone, so today I'm going to do a video of one of my very favorite bands, actually a favorite band of a lot of us I suppose, if you have a good taste in music, and that's the Tragically Hip. Got my Tragically Hip shirt on, one of them, I've got a bunch of them, or a few of them, and what I'm going to do here is a bit of an undertaking for me. Took me some time to pull it together, put a lot of thought into it, and it was fun though. And I'm gonna do the Tragically Hip album ranking. Now I have all their stuff and I have it all on CD because that's the time frame that I was buying my CD sets. So won't be showing records, vinyl, but these are CDs, but I have them all. So I'm gonna show, and I ranked all of their full-length studio albums, so not the very first shorter EP, but all of their full-length studio albums. That means they put out 13. When you start going through it, you realize how much amazing content and music and songs the Hip created, which is really impressive. So that's what I want to focus on. I'm going to run through this, try to keep it going good, flowing quickly, but what I'm going to do is talk about each briefly, and I want to mention 2 popular songs on each album and 2 lesser known or album songs that I like best from these albums. So we're gonna run through it. Before I get started, I always forget, subscribe to the videos if you like them, subscribe to my channel, hit like, make some comments. Geez, I'd love to see some comments about the Hip because a lot of us love them dearly. All right, so number 13 for me, the Tragically Hip, is Music at Work. Look at that artwork. Crazy artwork on this album. And Music at Work has 2 big songs that we all know and love. The song My Music at Work, which was a big hit for them. Lake Fever, I would count as a sort of like a single. And they also, the songs that I like that are kind of hidden tracks or lesser known tracks are Freak Turbulence is a great rockin' song. And a beautiful song that ends the album is I Wind Down the Pines. Very good. So that's number 13 for me. I will note, there is no bad Hip album. I love them all. But doing a ranking, you gotta pick. So that's what I've done. Number 12 in their discography for me is an album that sometimes gets forgotten about, and that is Now for Plan A. At Transformation was a big hit on this album, big single. The Modern Spirit was fairly popular. I love About This Map, and Good Night at a Wapiscat is a cool song on this album, also closes this album. Number 11 for me, their final album, Man Machine Poem, also the album that was titled for their final tour, Gord's Farewell. This is a good album. Number 11 in their discography, only because I love them all, as I've said, but a real good album. In a World Possessed by the Human Mind, to me, is one of their best single songs. What a great song. They also have a little song called Tired as Fuck on this album, which is a fun hit kind of song. What Blue and Ocean Next are also standout tracks to me on this album. Number 10, and a tour that I saw 3 times in the same tour, just the way it worked out for me on this particular tour. And number 10 album for me is World Container. Great album. Has a very distinct, like a lot of Hip albums, what's cool about the Hip is you recognize them as the Hip, of course, but their albums do all have a certain flavor and sound to them. World Container certainly does. I like In View, which was a big single. World Container, the title song, is a very good song. You're Not the Ocean, The Kids Don't Get It are 2 songs I'd like to mention. Number 9, and certainly an album that I've had in my music life for a long time, and because it has the number 1 hit single ever in my view that they've done, and the album is Trouble at the Hen House. This is number 9 for me. Had it a long time. the big songs, Gift Shop, Ahead by a Century, but the sort of under tier songs that I love a lot on this is Springtime in Vienna and Flamenco. Number 8, again, another great album. This is their first full-length studio album called Up to Here. A lot of people love this album with good reason. It's got a lot of great songs on it. So that's number 8 in their discography for me. Blow It High Dough, New Orleans is Sinking, 38 years old, Boots Are Hearts. Great stuff. Number 7 in their discography for me. Great album, In Violet Light. Very good album. It's a Good Life If You Don't Weaken is one of their best single songs for sure. Silver Jet, great song. The Darkest One, great song, and also one of their coolest, funnest videos that they ever did, and featuring the one and only Don Cherry. And then, of course, All Tore Up is another song on this that I really dig a lot. So that is number 7 in their discography for me. Number 6 in their discography is We Are the Same. Another good album. This album is special to me because if you look behind me, the big Hip poster, on the other side, there's a ticket attached on the other side of that poster. And this tour, my son and I saw the Hip at Massey Hall, which was very special. So this album has certain spot in my memory because of that. But it is a good album. Love Is a First is a good single. The Last Recluse. But it's got a couple of really nice sounding, kind of calm songs. Morning Moon and Country Day. That's number 6 for me. Number 5, big album for them, Phantom Power. That's number 5 in their discography for me. Poets, of course, big single. And Kara's favorite song, and favorite song for a lot of people, really great song, Bob Cajun. Fireworks, Emperor Penguin is one of my favorite songs on this record. Number 4, and it's pretty high up, but there's a reason for that. It's good, great album, but it has a certain memory in my music journey with the Hip. We used to go to a cottage a lot, and I remember when this came out, I happened to be up at the cottage on vacation and just listened to it constantly. It was so good. And this is In Between Evolution. Really good album. Vaccination Scar, One Night in Copenhagen, both good singles. But it has some really great album tracks on this. It Can't Be Nashville Every Night. Gus, the polar bear from Central Park. Such a cool album. All right, we're down to the big 3. Probably no big surprises. The only surprise might be for some people jockeying the position of these. Yeah, number 3 for me, Day for Night. Great hard rockin' album for the Hip. Grace 2, one of their big singles, of course. Nautical Disaster, Greasy Jungle, Scared. Really great stuff on this record. Number 2, probably not a big surprise. It's right up there with for a lot of people, and for good reason. Road Apples, number 2 for me. Little Bones, Three Pistols, Twist My Arm, Long Time Running. For those of us that paid a lot of attention to the end road for the Hip, Long Time Running is a cool song. It leads off the final documentary. Oh my, what a cool song. And number 1 for me, no big surprise for me, is you can't beat this, and that is the Tragically Hip's Fully Completely. Okay, this is their number 1 album for me. Courage, Wheat Kings, At the 100th Meridian, Locked in the Trunk of a Car, and their concert live best rockin' song is Fully Completely. So that's my Hip rundown discography. Make a comment if you have something to say about it, or let me know what you think. You know, I've got a bunch of memorabilia in here from in my place and my life from the Hip. Saw the Hip. I have to count it. I counted them up. I think I've seen the Hip 8 times, and I've seen them at some pretty cool venues. The special standouts are Massey Hall, of course. Saw the Hip outdoors at Fort York in Toronto. Saw them in Hamilton, which was cool. Obviously, their final show. First, Cameron and I saw them the first of the last 3 shows ever that they played in Toronto. And that was obviously extra special because I still remember like it was last night. I think it was something like a 14-minute standing ovation for Gordy. And yeah, easily the best concert moment I think I've ever experienced. How could you not say that? And yeah, so that's the Tragically Hip. The next video I'm gonna do, I think I've decided I'm going to do, I did my top 12 records in my collection. I think I'm going to show my top records, albums in my collection, 13 to 30. Because those are the ones I said at the outset. I was speaking that I think the top 30 in my collection won't change. So I'm going to show that next video. Have a great day. All the best to you guys. Bye-bye.